All right, so in this problem, it asks you to solve it. And so when you're asked to solve, what that should kind of direct you to do is just use the solve feature of your calculator. So solve, type in what you have. I'm going to change the p's into x's, but I'm going to make a mental note of that I have to change it back when I'm done. Okay, so I type in my equation, tell it which variable I want to solve for, and I see that it says false. So what false means is there's no real solutions. Now, are there still solutions to this? Yeah, and so what do I need to change solve into? Solve in the complex number system, so we'll call it C-solve. So I'm just going to go to the front of my line here, hit C-solve, and that gives me my solutions. Now, here's what my calculator displays. Okay, and so this tends to be the more common mistakes that you guys are faced with, and it is fine. I understand that that's the case. Okay, so here's what the calculator shows. So if you guys were writing this down by hand, as long as you just duplicated what the calculator showed, you'd be okay. However, I most likely gave you something that looks like this, right? Here's the lesser solution, and then the greater solution. And it's set up as a fraction, and I set it up as a single fraction. So you are going to have to be able to convert this by yourselves. Now, the first thing is to understand which one is the lesser and which one's the greater. The lesser is the one with the minus in between when you have no other grouping symbols. Okay, so we're going to type, now if I typed 1 minus root 95i, is this, when we combine this all into one single fraction, what is the common denominator, or the LCD have to be? It's a 5, right? So I know that this has to be a 5. Well, if I wanted to write 1 in terms of 5, so if you had $1 and 5 people and you wanted to distribute that evenly, right, you have to split it into fifths. And how many fifths would you have that made up one full 5, or one whole one? You'd have 5 fifths, right? So if you think of 1 in terms of the same denominator, 5 fifths, it now allows you to see what the numerator here is going to be. It's 5 minus square root 95, and then you have this I. Okay, and then the greater one is going to do the same thing. Change our 1 into a rational form with the same denominator, fifths. So we have 5 fifths. So we're looking at 5 plus square root of 95i, and all over our denominator 5.